much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 15, episode 9. I was about to say 8, but that was last week. But let's get into it. Before we get into this review, we're going to get a little spicy and talk about a few things that popped up on my timeline that I want to talk about. So the first thing up is congratulations to Sonya and Ross. We found out that on July the 7th, it was reported that on People that she's expecting baby number 2 with her husband. And I'm excited for her. I am. I know I saw mixed reactions in the comment section because some people feel like she's only having a baby for Ross, but I have a different perspective, mainly because I remember watching an interview she did after the reunion season 14 where she was talking to another athlete. They were like in a pool hall, and she pretty much was just like, you know, when she won the bronze medal, that was around the time she had a miscarriage. I also think that's why she doesn't talk about that bronze medal, but that sucks, you know, especially when you think about it. And I also think for Ross, it's a different thing. I think sometimes as women, we forget that miscarriages affects men as well, because everyone that's having a baby always have these kind of dreams and these hopes that you're putting on this new life and how life is supposed to go. And then when it doesn't happen, you have to grieve that process. And for some people, having another baby is a way to do that. For others, it's taking time to, you know, deal with those emotions and really fully flesh out how you feel. And maybe that's what needed to happen for them. So I'm happy for them. I hope she has a healthy and happy pregnancy. Next, Kim and Kroy. I did not do the drama on Kim and Kroy because 1, I don't see it for Kim. And 2, I knew it was going to be nothing but backwoods mess, and that's what it is. Because TMZ reported a few days ago that they called off their divorce. After all that carrying on that they did, they called off the divorce. They need to be paying restitution. Is it restitution? I think it's restitution to the 911 service. Like, they abused that system, and I was just appalled. I was like, y'all are calling these people, when there's people out here probably getting robbed, beat up, kidnapped, and you blocking up the line. You're holding it up. What are you doing? So, and I don't get it. I don't get how you can come back together after your husband said you were a gambling addict. And after your wife calls you a junkie, pretty much, and says you need to take drug tests. I don't know how that works. You call the police on me for stupid things, we're not cool no more. Because I heard the phone call of when Kim called the police on Kroy because she said Kroy felt like she was kidnapping his kids. Then the phone call about Kroy calling the police on Kim because she was in the bathroom too long. They live in that big house. He could have found another bathroom. Mess. And them kids don't deserve that. Them little kids don't deserve that. Because why are you doing this to them? Why? And the funny thing about it is Kenya clocked, because Kenya, they just now started showing the episodes for the after show, and they asked Kenya about Kim and Kroy, and Kenya pretty much was like, I think they're just doing this to like hold off the debt collectors and stuff like that. And I believe it because I also feel like they didn't really have any money. Maybe they got a greenlit for a show or something. Because I don't know if y'all heard it, but there was like a article that came out that said that Target want their money from Kim because Kim took out a Target card and she has a severely overdue balance in the thousands. So they was like, we want our money. Where is it? Where's our money? So I'm just like, this don't make no sense to me. But I can see them popping up on WeTV. Because there's nothing really going on WeTV other than Love After Lockup, Love During Lockup, and then Mama June, Hot to Not. They only have those 3 shows, and most people don't even watch Mama June. They watch Love After Lockup and Love During Lockup. So I definitely feel like we might see Kim and Kroy pop up over there. Because it's not making sense how they were so easily able to like forgive each other and move on. It doesn't make sense. And then my last 2 things I want to talk about is these 2 tweets from Kenya that gave me a chuckle. So one of the Kenya Stan pages was upset with what Kim said about Kenya, and we'll talk about that in the review at the OG dinner. And she quote tweeted. So the commenter said, "This comment from a racist is truly disgusting. Meanwhile, your evil ass is spent pennies to get features to look like a black woman. Grow the TF up. Kenya is not even thinking about you." So then Kenya quote tweeted that and said this comment is truly evil. I'm not a at Kim Zolciak fan, but I never kicked her when she was ... sorry, is down, learning of her divorce, foreclosures, repossessions, gambling accusation, unfit mother claims, and canceled show, now begging at Bravo TV and producers to come back to hashtag RHOA. I mean, Kenya ain't lie. The lady is going through foreclosures. Her husband did accuse her of being a gambler and said she wasn't fit to be a mom. So she didn't lie. So the next tweet I want to talk about is, we know Marlo was shading Kenya's outfit, and Kenya quote tweets someone else's comment, and the person says, "I know Marlo not talking about Kenya's dress when she had this ish on last year, hashtag RHOA." And Kenya quote tweeted by saying, "Let's talk about why she's always bragging about money and fashions but didn't want to donate to her bestie's charity, hashtag FAF, hashtag RHOA." Points were made. Points were made. But let's get into this review. Y'all. So the episode opens up and we see Sheree getting acupuncture. And then they show Sheree's sister. We ain't never seen Mary. Mary seems like a very sweet lady, very pretty lady. But Sheree, all these popping up family members. Next thing you know, in the mid-season trailer, they talk about Bob might have a secret love child. What is going on? What is going on? We ain't never seen Mary a day in our lives. But here she is. Sheree is talking about going the holistic route because she doesn't want to do the surgery. I would just do the surgery. Like, I guess my bet would be like, do the surgery and then do the holistic methods to make sure that it doesn't come back. But who knows? Who knows? We then see a scene with Marlo and Ty where she's talking about her night that she had with, the gentleman, her date. And he sent her a good morning text and it goes, "Good morning, beautiful. I hope you're having a great day." She sends back, "Good morning." Or no, she didn't even put good morning. She put GM. "I hope you have a wonderful day as well. Thanks for making last night perfect." And then he said, "You're welcome. Don't be a stranger." And she hearted it. One thing I will say is, I hate when dudes send me good morning texts. Like, I don't mind it, but the worst is "Good morning, my beautiful queen." It's corny. It is corny, and I don't like it, and it gives Hotep vibes, and I don't, Like, you can just send me, like, "Good morning," like, "Good morning." That's sweet. That's sweet to me. If you just send me, because then I'm like, okay, you was thinking about me in the morning. Good morning. That's nice. But that whole "Good morning, queen," grand rising queen, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I cannot. So one thing I did think was funny was Marlo talking about, I don't want to, it's scary to let someone in because when you're vulnerable, they can use that against you. I said, like, you be doing to other people, Marlo? Marlo, you be hitting people in their gut, like right in their stomachs. With the way you be going off on people. So you just don't want people to do it to you? Is that what we're saying? Because that's what it's giving. We then have this scene of Sonya getting ready for Mommy Nation. So she's decided to do this really nice charity for this foundation that is in Atlanta, where it is the only school, I guess, that is a private school that works with homeless children, which I think is wonderful, that they have a clean place to go to where they know they will get fed. They'll probably be able to get lunch, breakfast, and possibly dinner if they send them home with things. But Sonya was like, who is worried about the mom? So that's why with Mommy Nation, they are trying to raise money and things of that nature. And I was like, that's a wonderful idea. Unfortunately, the person that they were going to have be their auctioneer she got COVID, so they were not able, like, she's not no longer able to be the auctioneer. So her business partner is like, well, why don't you get Kenya to do it? Ask Kenya to do it. A lot of people were up in arms because they were like, well, why wouldn't you ask Sheree or Marlo? And like I said online, y'all's disdain for Sanya is highly annoying. Highly annoying. Like, let me find what I put on Twitter, because I need to make sure I say it right. Okay. I said, y'all's disdain for Sanya is annoying. Her storylines are at least genuine. Every season we complain about them casting people with fake storylines, but we get a real one and y'all complain. Y'all hate her because she's cool with Marlo and that's it. And then I went on to say, I don't understand why fans are acting like she's the worst housewife. Fans keep bringing up how she's two-faced. Also, all of them are two-faced. They're only loyal to the people they deem their friends. We wouldn't have a show if half of them didn't ride the fence. And that's how I feel. Like, am I saying anybody needs to be riding for Sanya? No, but I feel as though people are really harsh on her, and it doesn't make sense to me, because it's like, she's playing the game. She's playing the show. Like, she's cooler with Marlo and Sheree. She was able to connect with them a lot better. So her loyalty is to them. She gives them a lot more grace. Now, I did have a few people respond to it, and I agreed with a few people. I know one of my mutuals, One of my mutuals was like, she feels like Sanya is disingenuous and she has too many other rules for everybody else. And I agree with that. Sanya gives Sheree and Marlo more grace than she gives Kenya and Kenya. But I say Kenya and Candy and Kenya. But I also think that's what you do when you're closer to other people. You give your friends a lot more grace than you give the people that you're not cool with. But I will give other people that responded that said that Sanya needs to stop saying that she's neutral when clearly she's not, which I do agree. She's more on their side, but she also still wants to be friends with Kenya and Candy. But Marlo, more specifically Marlo, has done a lot to Candy and Kenya where it's like you kind of can't be riding the fence. But I do feel like the critiques on her are really harsh at times for no reason, really. Like I said, unfortunately, Sanya's auctioneer got sick, and her business partner is like, well, why don't we get Kenya? And a lot of people, like I said, were upset about that, but it made sense to me. We know Kenya does a lot of work with fertility treatment. That's the way she was able to conceive Brooklyn. So I was like, it would be a good look for her, as well as she could peddle the Kenya Moore hair care products. Like, girl, get your face out there. Get your face out there. So Kenya accepts. We see her doing a FaceTime call with Kenya and Monyetta, because Kenya and Monyetta are at like a studio doing a commercial for Kenya Moore hair care. Kenya's wearing her outfit that she was supposed to wear at the parade. We see Brooklyn. Brooklyn is adorable. She got on the same outfit with her Ugg boots, and I got them boots but in black. And she's running around. She's shimmy shaking them tassels. She just looks like she was having a good time. Kenya was excited. One thing I do like about Kenya and Brooklyn's relationship, it always seemed like they're having a good time, and she always seems like she's just happy to have her baby around. And we know that was one thing that Kenya really wanted, was a family and a child. And I feel like Brooklyn was a gift to her, and I'm happy that she has her. We find out that Rio and Monyetta set up a surprise for Kenya, where we meet Rio. And I was like, Rio is spicy white. Okay. Cause like he has an accent like that. It gives Brazilian a little bit, a little Brazilian, maybe a little Italian. But like when I was listening to him talk, and I was like, oh, you got an accent. I was like, okay, I see what you're trying to do, Kenya. But he brung food. That's always a bonus for me. He met Brooklyn. Brooklyn waved at him. I told y'all, Brooklyn was shimmy shaking them shangles, them tassels, and it was cute. But she was so excited. We end up seeing, what's it called? they talk, they have a moment. Kenya's giddy to see her. We see Sonya FaceTime Kenya and Monyetta and pretty much ask Kenya to be her auctioneer because, oh girl is sick. And Kenya accepts. The thing about Sonya is, and I think when it comes to the ladies, is like they don't like the way Sonya kind of moves when it comes to Marlo and Sheree, but they know Sonya's not a bad person, so I don't think anybody wants to do anything to her with malice. So Kenya accepts, and the thing about Kenya, if Kenya rocks with you, she gonna support you. So it was cute. We then flash to scene of Drew, her mom, and her sister sitting on the couch. She's talking about how Josiah, her oldest son, was honored, or like they basically gave him a shout out at school for being a model student, and she was excited about it. And they get to talking about her sister and Drew's relationship and her sister's career. Her sister has a resume. She worked on A-Man. She worked on Rock. She also worked on Martin. And then I think she said she worked with Wesley Snipes Productions Company. And I was like, okay, girl. And the funny thing is, like, I remember watching A-Man. A-Man, I think, used to come on TBS like at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. And I used to watch it getting ready for school. I just thought the show was actually funny. I really did. I don't know why I thought that show was funny. But, because it was a good show. It was a good show. It was a good show. But I was like, wow, that's a resume. And the thing about it is like, it sucks that her sister had the mental breakdown because we found out her sister's 20 years older than her. And people was online saying that, what if Drew's sister is her mama? And I was like, I could kind of see that. I said, 20 years? What was y'all waited 20 years to have a baby? Drew's parents. Because the thing about it is, like, someone was like, think about it, y'all. Her mom and dad are like heavily in the church, and then boom. And I was like, I don't know. Because how old is, let me look at how old Drew is. Drew's 38. So if she had her, like, if she said her sister's 20 years older than her, so her sister should be 58 years old, close to 60. And I'm trying to think, like, would the math even make sense in the sense of, like, 20 years from now? I don't see it. I see it, but I don't see it. But it's a great storyline if that ever became true, But the mom doesn't look old. So I don't know. I don't really know. But we find out that the sister, I guess the mental part, like the mental bouts that she was having, was due to being in a really bad abusive relationship where she had started to have like PTSD, anxiety, and nightmares because of it. And Drew and her mom lets it be known that they didn't really know all of that stuff was going on because Alice and her sister did not tell them that, and they go on to find out that the pandemic did a lot of harm to her. And the thing about it is, like, sometimes I wish we could go back to the pandemic where everybody was just inside. I feel like a lot of good content was created during the pandemic, but I also remember the downside, people unfortunately passing away by the millions, people passing away by the millions, people suffering really harshly, like Allison, with mental illness, being isolated, the depression, the anxiety of not knowing what's to come, and like the money issue. So there was a lot of bad things that happened during the pandemic. And there were some parts of it that were good because we were all like, well, we inside, and the jokes and the memes and all of that stuff. But she stopped, like, that during that time she had to be checked into an institution to really get herself together and really heal. And the crazy thing is like, I think had that not happened, maybe Drew's career would be in a different place. Like, she wouldn't be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And y'all know I don't see it for Drew, but I feel like her sister played a pivotal part in her career because she was her manager and probably building connections for Drew to like soar beyond this show. And I honestly could have saw Drew, although like I could see Drew, like when The Real was a thing, I could have seen Drew on The Real. Like The Real was really fluffy, like petty stuff. Like, it was cutesy. I could have seen her on something like that. So, I mean, it sucks that happened to her sister, but it seems like they're both on the same page of wanting to work on their sister relationship and not being manager and momager. Because she also says, like, she's 20 years older than me, so that's she was basically like my mama. And they have a moment where they cry. Allison talks how she never had a vacation, and they were like, well, this is your vacation. They have a moment, even the mom is like, well, I'm happy that you could tell us this, and now we can heal together. So hopefully they're all in a better place. So what's next? This OG dinner, y'all. I really thought that the people were reaching online when everyone was talking about how lame the OG dinner was. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. Like, I had just seen clips of the OG dinner, but I did not see it like play out. And I watched it and I said, girl, what is this? So we see Sheree pull up. She sits down. We then got Lisa pulling up in there. Lisa's excited to see Sheree. We then see Deshawn. Deshawn's excited. And then Kim comes in there on one, doing the dance moves and stuff. And they start talking. The funny thing is, like, Sheree got caught in a lie because Sheree was like, these are my friends. These are, like, we keep in touch with each other. That whole dinner exposed that y'all don't keep in touch with each other. And on one side note, Sheree, leave your face alone. Leave your nose alone. I don't know why, girl, because we know Sheree doesn't do, like, surgery when it comes to plastic surgery, but she does fillers, and whoever did these fillers in this area, girl, the cheeks is up to here and that nose is up to, girl, stop it. Sheree, you too pretty. You too pretty for that. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. But we see they're all sitting down and they're excited, they're talking. Lisa drunk. Why is Lisa always drunk? But to me, Lisa and Kim were trying too hard. Kim wants to be back on the show because the well is running dry. It probably is dry. It's dust in that well. But Lisa is like, Kim, I don't know if I should hug you or chop you in the throat. And they do the flashback to when Lisa and Kim got into it. And Lisa told Kim she would flip her over the couch after the reunion. I think that was like season 1 reunion. And they're kind of, then they bring up like Kim and Candy. And the funny thing about that is, that was a lesson to Candy. And I hope Candy learned not to do things out of spite anymore, because I agree with a lot of people that Candy gave that song to Kim to spite Nene, and it ended up biting her in the ass because Kim took it and took her baby name. You don't play with people like that. It bit her in the ass pretty much. But she's talking about she still got issues with Candy. I don't even think Candy cares. Then they brought up Kenya. And then that's when Kim made the comment, like, she's still alive? Ugh. She's like, she came for my kids. Kim, you came for your kids by suggesting that that your child needed to suck John Legend's dick to get tickets. You put it out there. She just threw it in your face. That's a you problem. And you was wilding out at that party at Nene's house. And all that white. That's sad. That Reed still haunts Kim to this day because she could not stand Kenya. So they cheers and they move on. But honestly, the dinner was lame. And like I said on Twitter, had these women actually like been friends, like we see them hanging out with each other, like going on trips or just sitting down to have dinner or seeing them interact online once in a while, the interaction probably would have been better. But you just put a bunch of strangers in there. And I honestly don't understand why Sheree be vying for Kim's attention so hard, because it's like Kim doesn't have anything. Like Kenya said in her tweet, she got gambling accusation. Things are being repossessed. She is in Kalaim's court with the bank. They trying to take her home. She lied about her home being taken away. And it's like, girl, there's court documents there was no need to lie. Just be honest. And one thing I will say is, if they brought back Lisa Wu, I could see that kind of her meshing with the cast a little bit. But the thing about Lisa is, Lisa would get the party started, and that'd probably be the only reason why I would want her back. But the OG dinner was lame, and I know Nene is never coming back because that bridge is burnt. It is burnt. She did like a thing with TMZ where she was like, I would come back for the fans. Girl, you will come back because that well is also running dry. But an OG dinner doesn't make sense without Nene. It's just, it is what it is. It sucks that she shot herself in the foot and she demolished and nuked that bridge. But it's not working, bro. An OG dinner is just not an OG dinner without Lenethia Leaks. It's just not. I'm sorry. To the Mommy Nation event. So we see everything's coming together. They have the tables. I thought the decor could have been better, but it's her first event, so I'm going to give it to her. But we see a confrontation between Sonya and her sister. Her sister's pretty much frustrated because she was like, girl, you didn't tell me what time I needed to be here. You didn't tell me what I needed to do just to come and do your hair. Like, I think, isn't her sister's name like Shezi? I think it's Shezi. But her sister was upset. And I saw this conversation two ways. Like, I got where Sonya was coming from, but I also got where her sister was coming from. Where Sonya's like, it's so much going on. I already told y'all it's going to be going on. And she let some things fall by the wayside. And I also understand her sister's frustration where she's like, girl, I got other things to do. Like, I just can't come do your hair and get everything together. And her sister had an attitude. And as she's kind of like reprimanding Sonya, she starts to cry. And I don't think that was a tactic to get her sister to back off because her sister don't give that crying would ever move her. I just think that Sonya was overwhelmed with this situation. She was probably full of anxiety because this was her first event and that, you know, like, she just wanted everything to go well, that something fell by the wayside. But her sister ends up saying, like, I don't like my sister always thinking I'm going to be there for her without any consideration, which is an understandable thing. Like, Sonya does need to take in consideration their schedules. But I'm also like, what else do you do? Like, because I see people saying that Sonya is selfish and ungrateful and everything revolves around, she thinks everything revolves around her, but it has up until now. Like, I think that's the part that people keep forgetting, that she is the family business and she's trying to take her family with her, which that's something I wouldn't do because that always gets messy. But it's like, her family has been her business. Like, the family business is her being an Olympic athlete, her like getting endorsements and deals, and like employing her sister to be her hairstylist. That's a job. Her mom being her manager, her dad, like, her family, because she makes money, the family makes money. So that is a hard thing to break from people, from everything not revolving around you. Granted, times have changed because now your sister has kids, she's a wife, she has her own thing. But I do think they need to sit down and have like better communication and explain to one another like what's going on. Like, how can we help each other? Because this ain't it. You crying while I'm doing your hair, this ain't it. And like Sonya knows she dropped the ball. She knows she dropped the ball. And I just think she was overwhelmed and was trying to like get everything going, and it just wasn't getting it going. You know what I mean? So everyone shows up. We see everyone in their outfits. I thought everyone looked nice. Everyone has their thing. Courtney's there. Mayetta's there. Basically, the whole cast is there. Even the girl that was supposed to be filming with them, because they were supposed to introduce a new girl there. I think she's Ethiopian. I think that's what they said she was. But she not there. I think they said this is when she like fell off of the show. But we see Sonya FaceTime Kenya. Before all of this happened, we found out that Kenya's dress that she was wearing, it was like her hips were too wide, so they needed to add more tulle to it or more fabric to it. And her hair, she ain't got her hair and makeup done yet. And as she ends up being an hour and 30 minutes late, I'd have been pissed. I'd have been like, girl, really? Like, don't accept if you wasn't going to be on time. Because Drew ends up being an hour and 15 minutes late. And there was like, I guess, a misunderstanding about Kenya's +1. So Kenya brings Akila, the WAG girl, with her. And I guess they were going to have her sit at a different table, but Kenya didn't want her to sit by herself. So she was like, is there a way that we could still sit together? And Sonya's like, yeah, I got you. But is you coming on time? Is you, because that's not what we're doing. So they asked Marlo about her date with the man. She's really happy and excited. So everyone comes. King is there, Candy's there, but like I said, King is an hour and 30 minutes late. So they start the event. Sonya ends up explaining why they're having an event and why it's such an important event and how their contributions will help these women and their children. Pretty much letting them know that if you can donate, I guess, $5,000, even though the math wasn't mathing, because I was like, that means $1,000 per month, even though they was like, that's 6 months worth of rent. I don't know. I'm not good at math, so I'm not about to rag on somebody else's math. But pretty much they were saying that Sonya was saying that the lady who's over the organization was like, if anybody donates a certain amount of money, we can pay up rent for these women for at least 6 months, giving them housing, which is ultimately what is important and what is got tongue tied, which is ultimately what this charity event was for, to help these women have housing for themselves as well as their children and create a sense of like stability for them. So everyone ends up donating. They end up doing these like mommy awards. They call them the mommies, like kind of a play on the Emmys. It was kind of weird that Sonya gave Sheree this award, but I don't know. I don't know if Cairo was the one that was like, hey, would you like to donate? Like, I don't know. It didn't make sense. I was like, there's other people you could have like honored, like your own mama, your sister. But she gave it to Sheree. Cairo presented it to her. Sheree was very touched. And it was a moment for them. So good for them. So we have the auction going. Kenya finally shows up. I hated her dress. I'm sorry. As much as Kenya was shading Marlo and Marlo was shading Kenya, neither one of those dresses that they had on were nice to me. I agree with Marlo. Kenya's dress looked like a crumpled up piece of paper. Like she pretty much compared it to the house that fell on the witch in Wizard of Oz, and when the lady's legs rolled up. It does kind of look like that, but Marlo's dress when she was doing La Archive wasn't any better. It wasn't a cute outfit either. So I was like, you talking trash, but your outfit wasn't even any more cuter than hers, in my opinion. So she got everyone to donate. Like, Kenya was doing her thing. Kenya was getting the people involved. Kenya donated $5,000. It was funny to see Drew be like, you got your money, Candy? Because I got my money. Do you got your... I said, Drew, we know Candy got money. Are you going to give up your money? Are you going to give up your money? But they ended up raising $78,000, and that's $28,000 over what Sonya wanted to raise. She was trying to raise $50,000, and I think that's wonderful. So Kenya gave $5,000. Candy gave $5,000. Drew gave $5,000. Mayetta gave $5,000. Sheree and Marlo gave $5,000, and Courtney gave $2,500. And I thought that was really sweet. Like, they were able to raise all this money. Everyone was excited once they said the number, that it was $78,000, and the episode ended there. Oh, we do find out that they're going to Portugal, and this is supposed to be a treat for like a retreat for the ladies and getting their auras back together and bringing the group back together. But Sheree shouldn't be the one leading it, because Sheree, you acting like you're not part of the division when you are. If anything, it would probably be better for like either Sanya or Mayetta, because as much as y'all say Sanya is a flip-flopper, she can flip-flop and run a retreat, in my opinion. Maybe Mayetta, but Mayetta's a friend, and Courtney couldn't do anything either. Maybe Drew could have been good. I don't know. But that's where the episode ended. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic, and hop down in them comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you like what you heard, subscribe and hit the like button. Deuces.